You're not going to meet a manlier vegan anywhere. I'm the manliest vegan on the internet. It's a fact. And this is my series, the manliest vegan on the internet versus, and today, it just happens to be Banquet Turkey Pot Pie. Now, the inspiration for this series is I just look at the top of the garbage when I go to the printer at work, and whatever I see floating at the top, whatever someone just ate for breakfast or lunch, I take the box, I bring it home, I shoot a video, because it's hilarious to me what people will eat. And what's funnier though is the marketing behind this stuff. So, for example, Banquet Turkey Pot Pie. Now, they've got this image that this is homemade. That's the idea that they want you to buy into. That this is, even though it's frozen, and you know that, you know that your grandmother didn't make it. But we've got this feel of homemade. We've got this table and this plate, homemade. And on top of that, what are they wanting you to pay attention to? Where's the focal point? Right here. They want you to look at this. That's the words they want to brainwash you with to back up this theory that this is some kind of home style meal. Look at this. It says flaky crust made from scratch. I know that's difficult to get the line. There we go. Can I get it right there? Flaky crust made from scratch. What? Really? Someone's going to believe that? Think about this. This is made in a factory by a corporation, and they're saying flaky crust made from scratch? Well, what does that mean, made from scratch? Typically, you think of someone in the kitchen with a bowl and a spoon stirring raw ingredients up. You know, flour and water and eggs, whatever it is, right? That's what made from scratch. You get the basic ingredients and you make it in your kitchen. So am I led to believe, as I look at the back of the box, and here is, because I want to know more about this crust. If they want our focal point to be the flaky crust, I want to learn more about the flaky crust and how it's made from scratch. It's funny because it's clearly one of those terms. It's an emotional term, and they can't, apparently it holds up in court. They can say that even though it's so not true. Because let me just take you there. And this is what ConAgra Foods wants you to believe. It says foods you love. All right. But here's what's funny. So the crust, again, they're saying that it's a flaky crust made from scratch. That's what ConAgra is saying about their banquet meal here. So here's what's in the crust. First ingredient, wheat flour. Okay, that's legitimate. That makes sense. Second ingredient, lard. Deodorized lard. Hydrogenated lard. Do you remember when your grandma used deodorized lard and you don't remember that? Because the lard smelled so bad they had to deodorize it? How do they deodorize it if it's so natural? I guess they have to put some chemicals? I don't know. But I don't think your grandma had that in her pantry, did she? Okay, just checking. All right, next thing we got BHT. It says preservative. Do you remember when your grandma went into the cabinet and had that bottle of preservatives and just poured that in the bowl? And you don't remember that? Oh, okay. Water. Okay, that's fair. Dextrose. It's kind of in the sugar family. So on a technicality, I'll give you the dextrose. Salt. And then caramel color. Wait, caramel color? You don't remember when she went into the food dye and put the caramel color? What's the source of this caramel color? Is it from petroleum? I don't know. I don't know. What is it from? Tell me more about the caramel color. So, do you really believe that there's a factory where Banquet makes these pot pies? And they're like, you know what? As far as everything else, I don't know. But the crust is going to be made from scratch. Yeah. It's funny because no one in the history of the world has ever questioned this packaging until now that the manly vegan has struck. So, I'm not telling you what to believe, but now that you've heard what I had to say, do you really believe that this crust is made from scratch? Is that how you would deem made from scratch? Are you going to be making biscuits this weekend and just add the deodorized lard in there and then the fake coloring to make it look like it's actually baked in an oven? It's so funny. Only a vegan would take you here, right? To take you to this point, to overanalyze the packaging on this, and that's without me even talking about the complete long paragraph of all the things that go in this. I mean, it's just so funny when you hear, when the second ingredient is mechanically separated turkey, and then there's a bunch of chemicals in there. They do have carrots and potatoes and things like that. And then something called rendered chicken fat. And then cooked chicken powder. It's funny. It's like, how many different ways can we process chicken and put it in this? But they want you to think that this is just like Grandma makes. She puts it out on the table, and those cubes of chicken there, it was straight from the farm. They killed the chicken that morning, they chopped it up, put it in the oven, cooked it. But I don't remember your grandma having a device that mechanically separated the chicken. But that's okay, right? Because as long as it's got a flaky crust made from scratch. That's right, you heard it first. I'm the manliest vegan on the internet.